ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Webster.
Excellent, thank you. I was doing the crossword puzzle back there. You don't know what it's like in that green room. Anyway, welcome to the 16th Annual GEM Awards. I'm your host, Stephen Webster, again, and I've got it on very good authority that unless I get impeached by the crowd, I'm doing 2 full terms no matter what I tweet. So you got another 6 years to go. Yeah, so actually, was that a bit loud? I'll stand back. While I've got so many jewelers under one roof, I just wanted a bit of advice. I went to see my psychiatrist last week, and I said to her, is it possible to fall in love with an elephant? And she said, don't be so stupid, you can't fall in love with an elephant. So I wondered if anyone would be interested in buying an engagement ring this big. Okay, it's okay. If you do feel like showing any appreciation tonight, I think it might be quite fun if the people in the cheap seats clap and the 1%ers down here just rattle your jewellery. Yeah. So that was a John Lennon joke. So tonight, once again, we're here to celebrate excellence in the jewellery and watch industry. It's the single most glittering night of the year, when the only thing that outshines the brilliance of the diamonds is the brilliantine finish of the people who work with them. And I count myself in amongst that number. Because, let's face it, if you're in a sparkling industry like ours, you need a bit of gloss. We just don't believe in matte. And that is a reference to a flat colour and not people called Matthew, by the way, because we believe in you, Matt Rosenheim over here. Yeah. So, just as a nod to us all, actually, us, this sort of high lustre jewellery cluster that we are, a friend of mine, a poet in England called Dr. John Cooper Clarke, he wrote a poem. It was for me, but it could have been for any of us. It's called Solid Gold Geezer That, which is a Cockney term, roughly translates into American as solid gold geezer that. So I'm not going to recite the whole poem because that would be ridiculous, but I thought I'd give you a stanza from it. Okay. Solid gold geezer that, he lives in a solid gold flat. The sun shines through his solid gold blinds. There ain't nothing that is matte. Sorry, Matt, it's not about you. And he just put one chorus in about my wife as well. He said, him, her, and the ball of fur, their caviar guzzling cat, solid gold geezer that. Anyway, you get the gist of it. And I think the men and women of the jewellery industry are sartorially required to shine. And tonight, we're going to celebrate those people. The individuals and companies who define fine jewellery with their bold and new innovations. So, in addition to the jewellery folk, we have somebody very special from the entertainment industry. And, never one to miss an opportunity. I always look at that as maybe my big break. So, because I don't know, I know you're pretty familiar with Will and Grace, and apparently they're auditioning for cocktail partners for Karen, and I think, I don't know about you, I think I'll be quite good at that. So anyway, never knowingly ever said, just say no. Anyway, stranger things have happened. So I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seats tonight in anticipation of finding out who amongst this extraordinary group of nominees are going to take home a gem, and if they're really lucky, maybe an award as well. So it's which one of the people who create stories, they design and make and write about things that mark stories of our lives, emotions and commitments, and all the magic that is jewellery. You know those stories. There's love stories, there's adventure stories, there's funny stories, there's I may get lucky this weekend stories. Not as many of those as there used to be though, unfortunately. But anyway, they're all unique stories and they need to be celebrated. 2018 marks one of the great stories, and it's marked by a piece of diamond jewellery. And of course referring to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, or Miss Markle, as we call her. It's an amazing story. You know, she's going to become a princess. And I don't know if you remember who was here, but it was 1 year ago, I was making reference to Brexit and saying that, you know, the marriage between England, Britain and Europe had never really been a very comfortable one. And I felt that maybe one between Britain and America would be much better. Made a lot more sense. Well, apparently Her Royal Highness the Queen agrees and has embraced one of your own, a Hollywood actress, no less, to become a princess. Not a mistress, a princess. I know, I thought I misheard it as well, myself, but we love her. And it's quite extraordinary, actually, because if you think about it, historically, the last time an American was put amongst the royal family, the king had to abdicate. Anyway, so this is happening, as you know. Oh, I thought it was a picture. That's what I bought my paper for, because I flew in today. I just came in today. And you know, they're everywhere. This is one of yours, and he's one of ours. Anyway, I've been told to toss this, otherwise it could be an accident waiting to happen. So there we go, we'll put it over there. So, yeah, so, but rumour has it from Buckingham Palace that in exchange for this extraordinary royal blessing, the Queen has, I mean, let's face it, she's giving up a prince, not just any old prince. She wants to be acknowledged for embracing racial integration by giving a ginger prince. And ginger princes are quite rare. We haven't had one since 1640. And he was the Prince of Orange, and he wasn't even English, he was Dutch. But anyway, so she's given this, like we say, a very modern thinking Royal Highness we've got. But she drives a hard bargain. So I've got a list of things that she wants in exchange for this blessing. Princess Margaret is written out of the next series of The Crown. The White House only serves Gordon's gin. That's her favourite. We all know that. The US pays for England, not Scotland obviously, just England, to be towed over the Atlantic and tethered to New Jersey, where it should have been in the first place. And she wants a promise out with Trump to make America great Britain again. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fairy tale, no matter how you look at it. Excuse me, I had that flu earlier. I got it in the green room. So, anyway, but you know, not all stories about diamonds have a happy ending. Usually, the sad ones are about small diamonds. And I mean, I myself, when I was a young bench jeweller, I got caught up in a whole smoke and mirror kind of scam in London. It was just after the Great War, and things were quite tough in England. And in order to keep myself out of the chimney sweeping profession, I used to take on diamond setting from the very low rent jewellers of Hatton Garden, which in itself, you know, it's not a garden. It's like Madison Square. It's like, where's the garden? There's no garden. Anyway, I used to take on this low rent diamond setting work, and I became an expert at what was called the illusion setting. And for those of you who are not so familiar with jewellery manufacturing techniques, an illusion setting is where a diamond setter takes a very, very tiny diamond and they put it in a very tiny, tiny hole in the top of a big piece of metal on the top of a ring. And then with a very highly polished tool, they kind of carry out what can only be described as a frenzied attack on the metal until you can't differentiate between the tiny diamond and the bit of metal. And that's an illusion setting. Now, I used to get paid 15 cents per attack. Now, I could only do 8 a day. I'm only human. And so at 15 cents an attack, I became like the David Blaine of the illusion setting. Only then it was the Harry Houdini, but it was, you get where I'm going with this. So the only problem with illusion setting, apart from the blatant dishonesty of it all, is that when you take this really sparkly thing out of a jeweller's window and all the bright lights, and you put it on a love-struck finger, it's fantastic. About a week later, after washing up and stuff, it becomes very apparent the true proportions of the diamonds. And it was said back then that the #1 reason for divorce in the UK was the illusion setting. And of course now it's the same as the US, irreconcilable differences. But that's a cautionary tale, gentlemen. Don't go cheap on your diamonds. Tonight, of course, there's no illusion. The gems are real tonight. So I think I've got to get on with some housekeeping while I'm here. It would be fair to say that 2018 is a year defined by technology and innovation. And as such, the GEM Awards will be a reflection of this. For starters, we have a new category devoted to creative thinkers in a traditional space, the GEM Award for Retail Innovation. These 3 nominees are taking an imaginative approach to reaching their jewellery and watch customers. That was an extra bit, actually. I don't remember writing that, but it's good. I like it. Anyway, on behalf of all of those who have something to sell, we thank you for that. For the first time in the history of the GEMs, all 3 nominees for the GEM Awards for Media Excellence are writers and editors in the digital space. There we go. That's good. Yeah. And of course, being married to a Russian, I know that none of them are delivering any fake news, which does actually remind me, I don't know, again, if for those of you who were here last year, we got a whiff that there was possible Russian interference in the Excellent in Watches Award. But I think now we probably know that skullduggery where, was far more widespread, possibly, and this is a big one, could have reached the Lifetime Achievement Award. But it's just a rumour. I'm only the messenger here, Jim. The good news is, though, I've been informed from very high up, from Sir Andy Johnson somewhere, that high up, he's in the cheap seats, but that this year the Kimberley process has been adopted, so we've got total transparency and we can trust the system, nothing to worry about. Having said that, I am still married to a Russian, and if I was any of you, I'd be trying to get the lottery numbers out of her, because she wins every week, obviously not under her own name. Somebody called Sybil Yerman won the Greek rollover lottery only last week. She doesn't know. She's not here, unfortunately, anyway. So finally, we have 3 incredibly talented nominees for this year's GEM Award for Jewellery Design. All of whom epitomise innovation in their craft, whether working in unusual materials, bold colour combinations, or creative enamel. All 3 designers merge past and the future to create their wearable treasures. A very, very tough year for judging. So, in addition to our 9 nominees, we are celebrating 2 trailblazing women, Debra messing. There's no messing with a messing, apparently, because Debra's not only an authentic, charismatic, and hilarious actress, but she is a proper jewellery aficionado. I've seen the video. She is. And those of you who follow her on Instagram probably know more about her than she wants you to know, but you will also know that she's unsurpassed in her passion for jewellery. So we thank her for that, and we will be awarding her. And then secondly, Sally Morrison, who's, there we go. Solid gold geezer, yeah. There's innovative marketing techniques and storytelling savvy, and I think commitment to wanting to make the world a bit of a better place has really elevated and enhanced the way that people outside of our industry look at gold and diamonds and coloured gemstones, all the things that we work with. So tonight we're celebrating the people that shine, and here to present the GEM Award for Media Excellence, please welcome onto the stage last year's GEM winner, Grace Fuller.
I don't have that speech, but I have this. The GEM Award for Media Excellence recognizes consistent, outstanding reporting of fine jewelry and watches. Past winners have included Victoria Gamelski, Claudia Mata, and Rob Bates. I was extremely honored last year to also win this award, and it's a privilege to be back on this stage tonight to present the 2018 GEM Award for Media Excellence. For those of us who work in this field, there's always a story to tell. Those stories we create are representative of the past, present, and future of the jewelry and watch industry. Tonight's Media Excellence nominees who represent that storytelling best include a man who left the financial services world to follow his passion for mechanical watches, a woman who spent more than 2 decades covering every facet of the jewelry industry, and the editor-in-chief of a trade publication who goes behind the shimmer to deliver essential information to the industry she serves. Here are tonight's nominees for the GEM Award for Media Excellence.
Benjamin Clymer. Benjamin Clymer is the founder and CEO of Hodinkee, a robust online magazine featuring in-depth reviews, critiques, and reports on high-quality watches. Hodinkee combines beautiful and compelling editorial content with the thriving e-commerce experience. The e-commerce platform now sees over 20,000 orders per year. Ben's inspired approach to storytelling has made Hodinkee the premier online destination for watch enthusiasts, informing and delighting all kinds of watch lovers, from connoisseurs to the more casual collector. Ben's numerous articles across the site are rich with original research and in-house produced multimedia content. Dubbed the High Priest of Horology, Benjamin Clymer is a leading voice in the wristwatch industry and a great asset to collectors, designers, and manufacturers worldwide. Marian Faisal. Marian Faisal is founder and editorial director of The Adventurine, an online magazine that covers every facet of fine jewelry. Marian calls upon her 20 years of experience as a jewelry editor, author, and expert to craft hundreds of articles a year for the site. Her stories cover the breadth of the jewelry world, from emerging designers to established brands, from popular trends to bridal classics, and from history statement pieces to red carpet standouts. Her signature movie reviews show not only how jewelry is worn in cinema, but how it impacts the very plot of the film. The Adventurine is also peppered with exclusive scoops on celebrity engagement rings and personal jewelry collections. Marian Faisal's passionate, informed, and prolific writing adds a daily dose of extra sparkle to the fine jewelry industry. Michelle Graff. Michelle Graff is the editor-in-chief of National Jeweler, the industry's top news source for jewelry professionals. In her position, Michelle oversees nationaljeweler.com and its popular daily newsletter. In 2016, Michelle helped revive the publication's 2 annual print editions, The State of the Majors and Retailer Hall of Fame. In addition to guiding the content on nationaljeweler.com, she is also one of the site's leading contributors, penning articles about customers' desires, breakthrough research, and jewelry trade shows and exhibits. She also contributes frequently to the site's social media channels, attracting both consumer and trade followers. From hot topics to marketing insights, Michelle Graff's jewelry journalism keeps the industry informed on the latest challenges, trends, and innovations.
I have no idea what's in here. And the GEM Award for Media Excellence goes to Marian Faisal.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. I would like to thank Jewelers of America and the GEM Awards Committee. And really, I felt just honored to be in this category with Michelle Graff and Ben Clymer. I began to write up a list of people that I wanted to thank for being so supportive of the Adventurine. And I pretty quickly realized it would be about half the people in this room, not to mention a lot of people who aren't. So thank you all to everyone who's been so supportive of the site. I would like to mention the Adventurine team, who are also wonderful, particularly Sally Davies, Emily Selter, Smitha Sidanan, Caroline Dweck, and Hillary Gurley, as well as the designer of the site, Andy Goldman, and the man who is literally the master of my domain, Rob Carlson. He's my web developer. For me, this award means so much because a couple of years ago, I made perhaps a radical decision to leave a perfectly good job writing about jewelry because I really wanted to write a lot more about jewelry. I wanted to have a comprehensive point of view and not only cover contemporary design, but also tell jewelry history stories and do think pieces on gems and get into historical subjects. And of course, I wanted to cover popular culture, movies, and the red carpet. But most of all, I really wanted to create a destination online where I could express what I truly believe, which is not only that jewelry is a treasure and a work of art, a master craft, but at its very best, jewelry is a vehicle that transports the stories of our lives. So thank you so much for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the award for retail innovation, please welcome the CEO of Story, Rachel Sheckman.
Good evening. I'm very pleased here to present the inaugural GEM Award for Retail Innovation. This award recognizes companies who are using innovative strategies to appeal to new customers and create positive change in how jewelry and watches are sold. The world is rapidly changing around us, and as retailers, we have to be able to embrace the change and be willing to meet customers where they are. At Story, we've created a retail concept that feels like the inside of a magazine, always and ever-changing and interactive. And I'm excited to be here to celebrate creative thinking that is present in all of tonight's honorees in this category. And the nominees for the GEM Retail Award for Innovation include a faux pawn shop that embeds jewelry sales within a dining and hospitality experience, and a jewelry retailer that feels more like a tech startup than a 100-year-old brick-and-mortar store, and a thriving online retailer that allows clients exclusive access to fine jewelry designs. And here are tonight's nominees for the GEM Retail Award for Innovation.
Buy Gold Girl. Buy Gold Girl for Beauty and Ethics has brought hospitality to the retail business. Curated by Lauren Kaminsky, the faux pawn shop is located just inside the entrance of an upscale restaurant located in New York City, Las Vegas, and Hollywood. Lauren fills the shop's cases with jewelry and curiosities for guests to peruse and purchase on their way into the restaurant. The jewelry theme reaches beyond the retail store to grace the walls, bars, and ceilings of the dining area. Guests can even purchase jewelry right at their tables and immediately celebrate their new finds. Lauren's love for treasure hunting began at her grandfather's pawn shops, where she would sift through trays of jewelry to find unique items. Buy Gold Girl offers more than a traditional retail experience. She sees herself as a jewelry concierge. This unique approach to combining vintage treasures with personalized customer attention puts a new polish on pre-owned jewelry and lifts up the everlasting quality of real gold and fine watches. Govberg Jewelers. Founded in Philadelphia in 1916, Govberg Jewelers has become one of the nation's most specialized purveyors of fine watches. Under the leadership of Danny Govberg, the retailer has harnessed the power of technology and innovation in order to develop new sales strategies and better serve customers all over the world. By embracing the market for pre-owned watches, Govberg's is now a leader in both the primary and secondary watch market, offering the consumer a well-established partner for the buying, selling, and trading of pre-owned luxury timepieces. The Watchbox app by Govberg is the ultimate mobile companion for watch enthusiasts. Through the app, watch collectors can manage their own watch portfolio, explore the new and secondary watch market, and catch up on the latest watch news. Govberg's video initiative meets consumers where they are, educating and engaging watch lovers with hands-on reviews and informed expertise. The ability to inspire and cultivate customer relationships by thinking outside the box has placed Govberg Jewelers at the forefront of retail innovation. Moda Operandi. Moda Operandi is a creative retail experience that allows unprecedented access to fine jewelry collections before they are available in stores. The Moda Operandi team is always developing new ways to bring the latest styles and designer offerings to their customers. Their monthly lookbooks are carefully curated multi-designer productions driven by a unifying editorial theme. Filled with gorgeous lifestyle imagery, the books give customers the ultimate look at how to style their favorite fine jewelry brands. At the Vicenza Oro show in Venice last year, Moda produced an editorial photo shoot with a selection of fine jewelry brands. This allowed Moda to feature the new collections right away, giving customers an immediate point of discovery. At the 2017 Couture show, Moda Operandi launched the Jewelry Salon, inviting customers to pre-order items from the show before they were available anywhere else. Moda Operandi has truly created a retail renaissance where the time-honored institution of luxury meets an innovative, bespoke shopping experience.
And the winner is Moda Operandi.
Thank you all. This is such an incredible award, and I want to begin by thanking the GEM Awards for recognizing Moda Operandi. We are considered to be a little bit disruptive in the industry because we are pure players in the internet business, and we happen to serve a very unique client at the very top tier of the industry. So I want to thank you very much for recognizing Moda. I have an extraordinary team, whether it is the tech team all the way to the marketing team and creative and the editorial team and the merchants themselves. And they're the ones that really bring everything together. It's almost like we're on CNN, reporting fashion every single night. And really, the fine jewelry business, we've only been in this business for a 4-year period, and we're really known for being in the fashion industry and bringing runway fashion to the consumers immediately after the show takes place. And I'm originally from the fine jewelry industry, and I have a real passion for fine jewelry, and it only made sense to me to galvanize fine with fashion. And so wanting to take the same concept into fine jewelry by having these trunk shows that are literally virtual and allowing the clients to purchase merchandise immediately from the show. So I really want to thank, from my heart, all of the designers, because they have incredible talents and skills, and it is only with the designers that this business could be absolutely possible. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Jewelers of America, Director of Public Relations and Special Events, Amanda Gizzi, and the Chair for the 16th Annual GEM Awards, Norman Miller.
Good evening. Wow, what a great start to the 16th Annual GEM Awards.
As the envelope opens, you can feel the excitement, tension, and anticipation in the room. With 3 deserving nominees in every category, I'm not sure how the panel of judges are able to pick a winner.
The judges certainly had a difficult job this year. Although, Amanda, I think the nerves you were feeling might have been from wondering if Stephen was going to drop an F-bomb.
The night's still young.
True.
The night's still young.
The judging process and confidential live reveal are just a few of the attributes that set GEM Awards apart from other award shows. For some, GEM Awards is a must-attend event that kicks off their year. For others, it's the coveted Synchrony financial cocktail and networking hour that keeps them coming back time and time again.
With the mission, yeah, we know who those people are. With the mission to honor and pay tribute to the individuals and companies who increase consumer desire for jewelry and watches, GEM Awards ties directly into Jewelers of America's founding principle of improving consumer confidence in jewelry and watches. Your support of GEM Awards helped JA better serve and protect our great industry. Tonight would certainly not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Synchrony Financial, our cornerstone and cocktail sponsor, thank you for all of your support of JA and of GEM Awards.
Thank you to our premier sponsors, Atelier Swarovski, Chanel, and Signet Jewelers. Benefactor sponsors, Assail International, Couture, DCA, Forevermark, Harmon Group, and Tiffany & Company. Our Bellini sponsor, yay Bellinis, luxury events, Reed Jewelry Group. And now, drum roll please, on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the award for jewelry design, please welcome fashion editor, New York Post, and editor-in-chief of Alexa magazine, Serena French.
Good evening. I'm pleased to be here to present the GEM Award for Jewelry Design. This award recognizes jewelry designers who have an extraordinary design aesthetic and create jewelry that shapes the future of design. While fashion is seasonal, jewelry endures. Therefore, jewelry designers have a unique challenge to consistently create pieces that are undeniably current while at the same time distinctly timeless. The word jewelry is derived from the Latin word jocale, which means plaything, explaining why it brings so much joy to those who wear it. Tonight's nominees for jewelry design have created the ultimate playthings, from striking gold adornments that echo the influence of Indian culture, to colorful gemstones, confections that are irresistible and delightful as the perfect piece of candy, to incredibly modern designs that experiment with shape, texture, and gravity itself. Here are tonight's nominees for the GEM Award for Jewelry Design.
Kumi Basan. Born in Bombay, India, and a graduate of art history and design, Kumi's background in architecture informs her signature style that combines eternal themes with thought-provoking design. Inspired by her deep respect for the earth, she seeks out unexpected materials, such as the tagua nut, for her creations. Each piece of jewelry is expertly finished on all sides and worthy of being passed down for generations. Her recent collections showcase her ability to merge ancient craftsmanship with modern sensibilities. The Bali collection is inspired by the land of the gods that captivates with its natural beauty and colorful ceremonies. The Affinity collection represents the ability to merge cultures through the common language of art and design. Kumi's Sagrada collections are inspired by Antoni Gaudi's famous Barcelona Basilica, with Gaudi quotes and stained glass-like designs serving as focal points of the collection's story. Kumi's incredible jewelry creations celebrate more than just beautiful design. They allow the wearer to have a deeper connection to the natural world, our ancient ancestors, and the divine energy around us. Irene Neuwirth. Born and raised in Southern California, Irene Neuwirth's collections are designed and produced entirely in Los Angeles, using raw, unmanufactured gemstones. Irene's jewelry is a unique blend of luxury and whimsy. It's not unusual to find pink opals carved into strawberries, or red jasper cherries hanging from delicate pave stems. Irene uses precious stones in unexpected and playful ways, remarking that she wants her collection to feel like the ultra-fine version of a costume line. The jewelry is known for its deep colors and bold shapes. It has generated tremendous editorial attention and is a red carpet favorite. Inspired by the colors and movement of the ocean, Irene keeps her designs connected to the natural world, highlighting, rather than hiding, the slight imperfections found in natural stones. Season after season, Irene Neuwirth continues to dare and delight her discerning clientele with these handmade fantasy creations. Nikos Koulis. Nikos Koulis is a GIA-trained jeweler who grew up in his family's jewelry workshops in Greece. His collections showcase his artistic spirit and intricate craftsmanship derived from the Greek traditional goldsmithing legacy. Nikos' jewels inhabit clean lines and light. They are playful in design, while being strict in form. The lingerie collection is reminiscent of sensual laces and reflects the designer's obsession with fluidity and soft finishing touches. The We collection Lariat series is comprised of geometric shapes, daring stone combinations, and harmonic forms. Nikos challenged himself to combine simple chords with dazzling gems. The Universe Line Translucent series incorporates his expert enamel work and features stones that seem to float alongside the body of the wearer. Through the combination of art, luxury, and innovation, Nikos Koulis continues to evolve the craft of jewelry design with his exquisite creations.
And the Gem Award goes to Irene Neuwirth.
Is so embarrassing. Okay, while I was walking out the door on my way here, I was talking to a friend of mine and he said, "Are you going to the Gemmies?" And I really think this is what it should be called. It made me laugh. Anyway, I'm really touched, and this is a room full of so many people that I admire. My team is here, and all the editors and retailers and designers, many of whom I consider my really close friends. I love our industry. I love designing jewelry. It's really a dream job. All I really want to do is make pieces that have a soul, pieces that are passed down from generation to generation and carry a message that say you are precious, you are valuable, you are loved, and that's how I feel tonight. So thank you for my gemming.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to 3 very well-deserved winners there. You'll be pleased to know that we're about to have a dinner break. It has been said that what motivated the Brits to colonise half of the planet was the search of a good meal, which I second that, and I'm very lucky in my life to have a food advisor called Jeff Fero, who introduced me to Twinkies and chewing tobacco. So I can only thank him for that. So enjoy dinner. We come back for part 2, where we celebrate 2 incredible women, and then I'm just going to give you one more instalment of some of the challenges I face, both well, mainly social, but social and cultural, being an Englishman in America. So enjoy dinner. See you soon. Welcome to part 2 of the Gems. I said I was going to give you the next instalment of some of the challenges I face as an Englishman, not in New York necessarily, but in America. And last year, we discussed social drinking. And this year, I want to talk about teeth. And I used to live in California, and I think from the moment I kind of got off the plane, I was just dazzled by people's dental display. It was extraordinary. I'd never seen anything like it. It's just like, whoa, it's like hypnotizing, you know. Because I'm sure you know enough, in England, teeth are made out of mixed nuts. So we have the very small ones at the front are peanuts, and then the long curly ones, they're cashew nuts. And then the wide ones at the back, they're a type of a pecan or a walnut. So you can only imagine how I felt, you know, and I thought, well, I felt socially, you know, challenged. And so I went to a Californian cosmetic dentist, which is very much like a chiropractor. They're not really doctors, but they call themselves doctors. It could be said the same in the jewelry industry, where people call themselves jewelers, but actually they're ex-models who got a bit long in the tooth, actually, funny enough. So I went to my cosmetic dentist and I said, have you got anything for my yellow teeth? And he said, what about a brown tie? So, yeah, anyway, style. What is it? How do you get it? Probably more importantly, how do you keep it? What do you do with it? Yeah, obviously it's something you get and then you've got to use it. You certainly can't buy it. But the recipient of this year's Jewelry Style Awards, she has it with bells on. So I want you to welcome onto the stage Jennifer Fisher, who will present tonight's Jewelry Style Icon Award.
Hi, everybody. The beauty of jewelry is that you can give it whatever life or meaning you choose. And in today's world, where so many things mean so little, but then again, so many things mean so much, those who wear jewelry with purpose and meaning will always stand out. I first met Debra when she was starring on the hit show Smash. We were introduced through a mutual friend when she was looking for jewelry to wear on the show. We started lending her pieces and naturally developed a friendship. She supported me at my first ever presentation during the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund. And we've been lucky enough to be a part of the iconic Grace Adler's wardrobe for the revival of Will and Grace. As I've gotten to know Debra, I've come to witness her warm energy, impeccable style, and fearless nature in which she chooses to express herself. Debra's jewelry style is constantly evolving. Mixing both costume and fine, she sees jewelry as wearable art. And just like art, her pieces always have a meaning. Whether she's giving a young designer a platform or pairing symbolic emeralds with her all-black Golden Globes look in support of the Time's Up movement, Debra is intentional about what she wears. She uses jewelry, to further her message, one of inclusion, compassion, and authenticity. It is because of this exact meaning that designers, including myself, love working with her. And in turn, she's extremely supportive of the brands she wears. In a competitive industry in which designers struggle with getting their brands out there, Debra goes out of her way to give credit to who she's wearing, tagging designers on social media and sharing messages of her personal relationships with designers whenever she can. Debra wears jewelry with such confidence, and as a designer, there's no greater feeling than seeing your pieces brought to life. And that's exactly what Debra does. She instills her own kind of meaning and personal style into every piece she wears.
My first memory of the magic of jewelry was my father. He had a manufacturing factory in Providence, Rhode Island, which is the costume jewelry center of the country. And so he would go down to New York City every Wednesday, and he would just go to all these different places, and they would say, here, bring these samples and make these samples. And so every Wednesday night, he would come home with a big bag full of jewelry. He would hand me the bag, and I would just rip it open, and it would all go on the floor. And it's what I played with. You know, I didn't play with Barbies, I played with jewelry. And so that's really where it all began. And my love and passion for jewelry just kept growing. When I moved to Los Angeles, I discovered Antiquarius. It was just jewelry booth next to jewelry booth next to jewelry booth. And I found Neil Lane. We just clicked, and he saw that I had a passion for it, and so he became my teacher. And I would literally visit Antiquarius as if I were going to MoMA or going to the Met, you know, because I feel like jewelry it's wearable sculpture, it's art. But I think jewelry is incredibly important in terms of building a character for film or TV or any kind of storytelling. For Grace, because she is a creative person, it's very important. The clothes she wears, the jewelry she chooses, it has to be authentic. Getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was an incredibly powerful and surreal moment. I found this Oscar de la Renta dress that was gold. You would think with a gold shimmery dress that you would want to keep it simple, you know, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll wear my studs. And then I was like, I think we need to look for an earring. Inevitably, I always go for the big earring. I just like a statement earring. I love jewelry design that is really bold and unapologetic. I love stones. I love the 50s. I love a lot of modern jewelry as well. I love a lot of jewelry. I feel like when I put on jewelry, it's like I'm choosing what aspect of myself I want to reveal for the day. It's visceral, it's chemical, it's not something you can fake, you know? It's like I see it and it literally like changes my blood pressure. It changes my pulse. It feels like it gives me life. These earrings I bought from Fred Leighton. They're special to me because I visited them for 10 years. I'm not lying. And then I was turning 40. And I was like, you know what? Why am I waiting? I've been visiting them for 10 years. I will wear these all the time. And I have. This was a present to myself. And that's another thing, was sort of growing into a place where I said to myself, I don't need to wait for someone else to buy me jewelry. When I heard that I was being honored in this way, I was so grateful and thrilled because it really is a fundamental part of who I am, my love for jewelry and my appreciation for jewelry design and designers. And that came from my father. From those moments of him walking in and him handing off, this bag of jewelry and wanting my feedback and, giving me a sense of autonomy at a very young age. It really was impactful. And in a way, I feel like my being honored is really an honor for my father. And yeah, really means the world to me.
I am so proud to present my dear friend Debra with the GEM Award for Jewelry Style. Congrats, Debra.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's hard for me to express how much this means to me, being invited here tonight. As you can see from the video package, my passion for jewelry comes from a deep and authentic place. It has been one of the very few constants in my life. I like to say it's part of my DNA. As a 5-year-old little girl, I looked at my dad as a towering hero imbued with strength and purpose. He'd go off to work and do secret, important things. And I'd spend my day with my mom, going to ballet class, singing around the house, painting our nails. It was easy to connect to my mom because she was who I would eventually become. Dad was a little bit more of a mystery. He connected with my brother over sports, as dads and sons do. And then one day, he came home with a bag of jewelry from New York and put it in my hand. He was sharing his secret with me. I tore through the bag, trying everything on, and then my dad asked me what I liked. It is a very empowering question to put to a little girl. What do you like? And over the years, Dad and I would talk about the changing styles that came into vogue, and through him, I would hone my taste and sensibilities. He took me to his factory in Providence and showed me the big vats of molten gold, the conveyor belts lined with workers putting pieces together at warp speed, connectors and rhinestones, posts and backings. It was a marvel. My dad was Willy Wonka. And I was so proud, and he was proud to have me with him. Those were formative years and powerful experiences with my dad, and it changed me forever. Every birthday, every Hanukkah, all I wanted was jewelry. I didn't want a gold cross pen and pencil set for my bat mitzvah, I wanted a gold shrimp ring. I can tell you where every piece of jewelry in my now vast collection comes from whom, for what occasion, which country pieces were discovered in. Jewelry tells the story of my life. I can revisit my time in the Sahara Desert by simply putting on my coral necklace and Tuareg ring. It immediately transports me in a way that even photographs cannot. When I miss my mom, the only thing that comforts me is putting on her ring, and then I feel close to her again. Jewelry, wearable art that comes from the earth, carries energy within it. It can make me feel bold, aggressive, demure, glamorous. I can be a badass from the city, a hippie chick, a queen. It helps me identify and free the many different facets of my soul. It makes me feel more like myself. It is my armor, my talisman, my comfort, my joy, my good luck charm, my weapon, my sorcery. And the magical part of it all is that it affects the viewer as much as it does the wearer. It's a shared experience. It's generous. And to me, that's the definition of beauty. So thank you to everyone in this room who has dedicated their lives to creating and sharing beauty. It is a potent balm that has the power to comfort and uplift, and that is no small thing. Thank you for bringing beauty into my life and for making this fangirl feel so welcomed in your community. Thank you.
To present the award for Lifetime Achievement, please welcome Pamela Love.
That's where you talk.
Oh, okay. I have a little bit of a fear of public speaking, so I made Stephen come out with me. Hi.
You're doing good so
But
far.
I love Sally so much that I wanted to present her with this award, even though I'm terrified of this. So, if I mess up, you can laugh.
You won't mess
That's
up.
why you're here.
That's it.
Okay. So I first met Sally Morrison in 2013. She came to my studio with a bag full of pastel-colored eggs from her farm and asked me why I was making costume jewelry instead of focusing on fine jewelry. And she's been pushing me ever since. In fact, if it weren't for Sally and her Love Gold initiative, I wouldn't have a fine jewelry line at all. I'm very lucky for her support and her foresight. Pamela Love Fine is now the largest and most important part of my business. It also brings me more joy than I could have ever imagined. Collaborating with Sally over these years has been a wonderful privilege for me. She has become a mentor and a friend. She's dry, witty, intelligent, hilarious, and she has impeccable taste in jewelry, obviously. I have always been impressed by her ability to recognize beauty in the most unique and varied places and things. Her commitment to sustainability and ethical sourcing is unparalleled. She's always pushing us to be better at what we do, more responsible, and more kind. For years, I have looked up to her as a hero for co-founding the Diamond Empowerment Fund, an international non-for-profit that supports education initiatives in diamond-producing countries. But what I admire most about Sally is her love and dedication to her son, Toby, above all things. She's literally the coolest mom on the planet. I'll never forget when she told me she was taking Toby to Greece to try to meet Leonard Cohen by stalking the outside of his house. Or when she asked me for a tattoo artist recommendation for Toby. When Sally talks about her son, her entire face lights up. You can see that they truly are best friends. Sally has said that her love for jewelry comes from a belief in special lasting things as the antithesis to a fast-paced, disposable culture. I would place her friendship among those special lasting things. Mother, mentor, friend, collaborator, style maker, innovator. This is Sally Morrison.
I started my career in nonprofit, so I'm very interested in issues. I'm interested in dynamic social change. I'm interested in wherever I work, trying to improve the world a little bit, right? And so I think I've been very drawn to companies where there was a commitment to sustainability, there was a commitment to ethical practice, there was a commitment to responsible mining, all those things that contribute to making the world better. Trying to tell their story and engaging in creative ways with the culture to bring those stories to the population. One of the really exciting things we did at the very beginning of Forevermark is take Julianne Moore down to South Africa and Botswana to really see the value chain, to see the mining, to see the cutting and polishing, to see the sorting, etc. And once we'd done that, we gave a party in Los Angeles during the week leading up to the Oscars. And we invited in Festus Mogai, who was the previous president of Botswana. So he was able to come to this cocktail party and really talk about how diamonds have literally transformed the economy of Botswana. And to me, that was a very sort of successful way of trying to tell the story to consumers of how it's not just something pretty and decorative, it's actually something which is fundamentally contributing to the economy and the quality of life in those communities where diamonds are mined. So it was just a perfect moment for us. The Love Gold campaign was really about trying to incite a positive response for gold jewelry among a younger demographic of consumers. It was probably the most inventive project I've ever worked in. It was highly creative. So it was really about creating a community of people and immersing them in gold and exciting them about gold. And we produced incredible content that was glamorous and exciting and highly accessible for that millennial audience. So it was a very exciting campaign. With the Gemfields project, it was really a true collaboration in that we were able to work the whole season with Ruth and with her stylist, Carla Welsh, who is a brilliant woman, and say, this is the product, let's see what we can do with it. And I really regard that as one of the most satisfying campaigns of my career. I mean, I think it was absolutely of the moment. We were able to work with Carla in many different ways, give a lot of profile to the Gemfield stones, give a lot of support to a lot of designers. And frankly, I think in terms of fashion and style, Ruth Negga won the Oscars. I worked for Elizabeth Taylor at the American Foundation for AIDS Research, and the first trip I went on with her, we went to Bangkok for a big AIDS benefit, which was being organized by the royal family. And at some point during the trip, she said to me, you have to buy something while we're here. And I said, I can't possibly afford to buy anything. And she said, just buy something. You have to start with something because every jewelry collection starts with the first one. So she encouraged me to buy these two little sapphires. They're about a carat each. It was $100. I really agonized over it because it was a lot of money for me then, but that was my first self-purchase piece of jewelry. And that's where the addiction started. I moved out of the city 3 days before my son had to go to kindergarten, and the short answer to why we live here is because I was so terrified about getting him into private school in New York, and I couldn't figure out the process, and I didn't know what I was doing. So we moved out here right before he was 5, and we've been here ever since. And we have beautiful places to walk. We have trails. We're able to have animals, and we have the kind of life that I wanted him to grow up in, which is being a little bit closer to nature and a little bit closer to the things that are meaningful. Many of the precious things that are part of jewelry are deeply connected to old cultures, and I think that is a story that is actually very interesting to a younger consumer. I think young consumers are very interested in knowing, for example, where their coffee came from, where the food they eat came from, and I think if we can tell those stories better and better about the constituent parts of our pieces in this business, we can do pretty well. And that's the sort of challenge I'd like to take on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present this GEM Award for Lifetime Achievement to my friend Sally Morrison.
You're really very kind. Thank you so much to everyone at the GEM Awards and to all of you in this room for this incredible honor. When I first got the call last summer, my first thought was, doesn't this make me seem old? Am I old? And I think it's kind of the sort of professional version of, does this dress make my ass look fat? And the answer, sadly, is probably yes to both of those. Seriously, though, it's moments like these that make me look back and really reflect on my own career, what I did, what I didn't do, and what I want to do next. My first job in New York was at AMFAR, the AIDS Research Organization, which was headed up, as you saw in the film, by Elizabeth Taylor and Matilda Krim. Matilda was simply extraordinary, and very sadly actually died earlier this week. But it's hard to imagine more powerful or dynamic role models. After that, I spent 4 years at Miramax working for Harvey Weinstein. And yeah, it's true. That's probably for another time, that story. But no, despite all we know now, which is clearly terrible, I really learned a lot there. And then a very long stretch on A Diamond Is Forever, where the ultimate client, Steve and Lucia, expected and inspired consistently best-in-class work. And then David Lamb, a visionary and restless intellect, gave me the most creative assignment of my life to date, the development of Love Gold at the World Gold Council. The bottom line is this: if you're encouraged by a group of people of that stature, it's hard not to do good work. I mean, you would really have to be a dummy to screw up. However, with such incredible opportunities and such amazing access to incredible role models and mentoring, I can't help but wonder, if I were a man, would my career have had a different, loftier trajectory? Why is it that there aren't more women in leadership positions in our industry? I really think there needs to be more thought and discussion about this. It's often said, most recently by Debra Messing, that if you look in someone's jewelry box, you can tell the story of her life, right? We make products that represent and celebrate the most meaningful and transformative moments in a woman's life. Ultimately, she's our customer, and we need to honor her. We need every aspect of what we do to be worthy of the product we sell. To do a better job at this, we must involve women in all aspects of our industry. I have 4 thoughts about how we might do this. First, for once and for all, by rooting out sexism and harassment, acute or subtle, wherever it lives. Many people have recently sacrificed a lot to bring very painful histories out into the light of day. Together, as men and women, we need to ensure that it wasn't for nothing. Second, by using advertising imagery that informs a broader, more inclusive view of women. If we continue to perpetuate narrow, prescriptive images of women and girls, we're selling ourselves short as an industry. Third, by committing to including the input of women at all levels of our corporate structures. Not just in the soft disciplines like marketing and HR, but in finance, in legal, in operations. And by the way, creds here to my friends at Ben Bridge, who just named Lisa Bridge president. We noticed. And finally, by developing mentoring programs, business coaching, and access to financing that will allow small, women-owned brands to grow bigger, sustainable businesses, so that Pamela and Wing and Jade and Elena can smash through the $5 or $10 million ceilings to be the David Yurmans and the John Hardys of tomorrow. It's time. I want to congratulate all the other nominees. It's an amazing lineup of talent here tonight. And again, I want to thank all of you at the GEM Awards for this wonderful, wonderful honor. I share it and celebrate it with a large group of friends and colleagues, some here tonight and some not, who've been on this journey with me over a number of different businesses. So to Emmy, Jamie, Michelle, Marion, Jacqueline, Carla, Kate, thank you. This award is a direct result of our collaboration. And finally, to my son and Moon, Toby Corser, who is with me tonight. Thank you for being so supportive and so understanding about my work. I'm sure I've been a rotten absent mother sometimes. We're in this together, dudes, so this award is yours too. Thank you. Good night.
Fabulous. That was very moving, and actually being part of this evening and past evenings here does certainly reminds me of why I still enjoy this industry that I've been in for 42 years. It's the only one I know, the same as a lot of people here. And that was brilliant. And everybody, congratulations. And thank you to the people who are so inspiring to other people in the room. So as far as the awards go, that's all, folks. I've been told that there's dessert. I don't know if you've had that yet. I can see some lumps of meat still floating around. So probably it hasn't. But I'd like to thank a few people because last year I obviously wasn't coached properly, but I would like to, can you move this thing because it's not giving me what I need. There you go, right. I'd like to thank Synchrony Financial and all of tonight's sponsors. I'd like to thank Amanda Gizzi and Dave Bonaparte and all at Jewelers of America. Special thanks to Joe and Kira, Parla Greco, and the rest of the production team. They do an amazing job back there. I can't even tell you. It's like being at NASA. Yeah, and thank you all for being part of the 16th Annual GEM Awards. You really, obviously, wouldn't be much if you lot weren't here. So, and I just want to leave you with one touching story, if you've got room emotionally for one more of my touching stories. You may or may not know that my wife is Russian. And to mark our 19 years of marriage this year, come on, that's worth a fucking round of applause, isn't it? Yeah, I made her a beautiful colour change Alexandrite ring because she's Russian, and you know, we call it her mood ring. If it shines green, she's in a good mood. If she's not, I get a red dent on my forehead. And I just wondered, Deborah, would you mind having a look what colour is that ring right now? It's blue. Right, I'm going straight to the bar. So thank you all very, very much. See you next year, maybe. All right.